Hi guys, this is Spartan765. Today I'm going to be addressing an issue that I've had with my mosin M44. I replaced the extractor on it, and the extractor is fairly shitty here, and feeds like a piece of worthless cat shit. So today I'm going to show you guys are having similar problems. As you can see here, I have the bolt head in the vise. This is the extractor. This particular extractor I bought had a dent right in the middle. I don't know what from, over machining or something like that. But today I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. And when you do this, you got to be careful, because if you remove too much material, your extractor will break. Things you're going to need for this is a medium file, not something too coarse, not something too fine, and a polishing stone. And for purposes of demonstration, to show it's repaired, I'm going to use a shell that I just pulled a bullet out of. There's a primer in it, but no bullet. So, I mean, I'm just not going to pull the trigger. And the worst thing that would happen is a little popping noise, like 1/10 the power of a firecracker. But I'm not that stupid, so. And to top it off, I twisted the firing pin all the way down in the most nagant bolt, so even if the trigger didn't get pulled, it wouldn't go off anyway. It's always good to be safe. Okay, now what you're going to want to do here is just make sure you got it level. Put it in the vise real tight. You're just going to want to very carefully, I mean, you don't go fast on something like this. Just back and forth, back and forth. Just enough to, only go enough to level it out. And you want to be very careful not to hit the bolt head when you're doing this. And you want to keep that angle that's there. It's about 20 degrees. You go a little flatter, a little more angled. It's not going to hurt it too much, but you don't want to go too flat. You know, you want to maintain on the tip of the extractor. You want to make sure that that is at least a quarter. I'm going to say 1/2 millimeter thick, maybe just a little less. But you don't want it to be any thinner than, really, a little less than 1/2 millimeter, because then it'll be too weak. Gonna file nice and carefully. Now all that's really necessary is the filing, because the filing will make it pretty smooth, just enough to remove that ding right there. You're gonna want to just keep going on, eyeballing it, making sure you're going right. Okay. That ding's almost gone. Okay. And then after you get the ding done, what you're going to want to do is take a polishing stone to it. You don't have to. I am, though, just because I go the extra step with gunsmithing. I make sure it's done perfect. Okay. It's looking good so far. We'll just give it a little bit more. Okay. And round off the top edge. Well, on this one here, it's dented up here. So I'm going to file this down a bit. Make it nice and even and flush. Because when the shell comes in here, it's pushed right on there. So we're going to want to make this nice and even up there, which it is now. Now we're going to take our polishing stone. Just go. Like with the polishing stone, doesn't necessarily matter if you hit the bolt head, because it's not going to take off any significant amount of material. It's just to polish it, the surface. Make it nice and smooth. Now you don't have to make it mirror shiny. It's not like you're doing a damn trigger job or something. Sorry if the lighting is a little fucked up. I tried to make it good. Now, you just want to take your time. One rule about gunsmithing is you never rush anything. brushing stuff leads to problems, which can potentially lead to a failure when the firearm is shot, which can lead to death. Or worse, getting shot in the nuts. Okay. It's coming along fairly good. Give her a little bit more. Mosins are generally picky just because of their force-fed extractor. It's not like a Mauser where it's it's slip-fed, where it goes right onto the extractor. It's force-fed. Now, modern force-fed extractors are very, very reliable and easy to use, but keep in mind this design's from 1891. One of the world's first practical bolt-action designs. So it's going to be a little rough. Mosins aren't known for having smooth bolts, but they're very reliable and they're built like a fucking tank, so that's what counts, right? Yeah. How's the time going? Okay. It's almost done. Just gonna want to polish that extractor nice and yeah, sorry for the shitty lighting. I bet the lighting's gonna come out crappy. Okay, we're gonna call that good. That looks good enough. Okay. I'm going to put the bolt back together, we'll throw it in the rifle and see if it works. Okay. Here we go. Now, this happens to be an M44, like I said. Okay, we got the dummy round, or not really dummy, there's just no bullet in it, or gunpowder. You're going to want to, be careful if you're using a round like this because there's no bullet on there and it doesn't guide, and the rim can hit on the chamber. So once it gets in there, close her. Okay? Now, even if I pulled the trigger here, nothing would happen because the firing pin's back far enough where it wouldn't do anything. Now, you're going to open this. It fed very smoothly. See? Now, you never would ever want to try this with a live round with a bullet in the chamber because that is dangerous. Safety first, remember that. Now, it'll hit up in the chamber, but just kind of finger it in there like that. Push her forward. That is a damn smooth action. And it doesn't really take any force at all to do that, as you guys can clearly see. And there are other steps that can be done to making a mosin action smoother too. Like polishing the lugs, polishing the breech face, polishing a bunch of other parts. See? And that's how you make your mosin action smoother if you got a shitty extractor. Spark 765 out.